Apparently, God has a lot to say about current events. Every time we have some turmoil or some sort of unrest here in America, there's people that come out all over YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any sort of social media platform, and they've got a word from God. You know, the Lord has really shown me, or I hear the Lord say, or any other number of different catchphrases to really impress upon anybody that's viewing or listening to them that God is speaking to them. And you know, I always find that really fascinating because God seems to be telling them exactly what they were already preaching and thinking. And He speaks to them so frequently that they get a new message just in time for this week's video. Isn't that amazing? But does God still speak to people today? That's a good question. It's a question that we all need to ask. So I don't really want to brag, and I don't want to call a lot of attention to myself, but God does speak to me. He speaks to me every single day. Sometimes He speaks to me a couple of times a day. And you know what? I'd like to show you where God speaks to me at. Give me just a second and I'll take you in there. Here we are, the place God speaks to me. Now, this isn't the only place that He speaks to me, but this is the first place I usually hear from Him every single day. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if you could see that on camera, if you could actually experience it for yourself. So let me show you how God speaks to me. He speaks to me right here every day, first thing in the morning, right through His Word, right through these two covers. You can hear the living God, the creator of heaven and earth, speak to you. See, God has not only inspired men to write the words of Scripture, He has kept it and preserved it for thousands of years. And if this world endures, He'll keep it for thousands more. Jesus said that heaven and earth would pass away, but His words would never pass away. They will stand the test of time, and they will be here long after any of us are gone. So that's how God speaks to me. And if you're hearing God speak to you, that's how He's speaking to you too. You don't have to go to the latest and greatest prophet or teacher that's selling something or has a lot of show and a lot of really interesting lights and graphics and all these different things. You can pick up His Word and hear God speak to you for yourself. Now, I'm not downplaying the supernatural, but I'm upholding Scripture. And that's a view that God Himself has. Do you know what He says about His own Word? In Psalm 138:2, it says that He has magnified His Word above all His name. That's the view that God Himself has of His words. So that's the way I want to view it too. So anytime that someone says that they're hearing from God, really look at it very closely. Listen to what they're having to say and see if it matches up with Scripture. But I also take a view that John Owen, that was his name, John Owen once said, and he said, if you're having dreams, visions, and revelations that disagree with Scripture, then they're false. But if you're having dreams, visions, and revelations that do agree with what has already been revealed in Scripture, then they're a bit unnecessary.